Just want to come on here and say thank you for 2024 and Happy New Year. I know this type of video is a little different from my usual style, and I definitely want to get into this more personable content, I guess is probably the best word for it. But like I said, I just want to thank everybody for 2024 and give you guys a little bit of an insight on my journey so far into content creation and what to look forward to in 2025. If you like any of my content across the board, whether it's Destiny 2 related, gacha related, the anime stuff, you stop by streams, anything like that, again, I just want to say thank you. I want to keep the story as simple as possible, but it was 2016. I was in Los Angeles. I had an internship through my college where we got to go out there. I was in music production, so it was cool. I got to work at a studio. In any event, I don't know what hit me during that summer. I just had like an epiphany of like, I should start making content. I was like super late in the game. Obviously, I was like 20 years old at the time. I should have been doing it way before that. I was watching a lot of Destiny YouTubers at the time. The Division was in its prime, and it just hit me that I should be doing this. And the content at first was just terrible, bro. I could go back and look at the content. I'm not even gonna show you guys because I've privated a lot of those videos because they're either just not relevant or, you know, they're just small clips from like Xbox. It was so terrible. And that's like any YouTuber starting out, like your first like year of content is probably not gonna be fantastic. And I had no idea what I was doing. All I know is that I had my 2014 MacBook, an Elgato HD, you know, like the original external one that's like this big, and an Xbox One. And I think I made Destiny content and Destiny 2 content with just those three things up until like Beyond Light. And during all that time, I graduated college. It took me a year, I think, after I graduated college to find my like first full-time job. And that job was great. I worked there for 4 years, and essentially what we did is make content for banks. Essentially, we streamed, recorded, and edited essentially what was like banking conference calls. It was right up my wheelhouse, and it really allowed me to understand technology a lot more since we had to, you know, have mixers and phones and computers, all this other stuff on top of honing my editing skills. And throughout that job, I went from essentially what would be like an assistant all the way up to a supervisor within 4 years. We went from like a 3-person office operation. There were some more employees there, but we went from like a 3-person to like a 30-person, and we also had to hire 10 people out. Like we were doing video conferencing 24 hours a day. It would be stuff in Europe, in China, in Japan, in the US. We had a team 24/7, pretty much ready to go on whatever call they had. We worked with banks like Citibank, Bank of America, Royal Bank of Canada. Basically anything that they had going on, we would cover it. So if there was like an auto conference in Florida, we would send somebody down there. They would feed us the video and the audio. We would stream it out. And it was pretty much right on my wheelhouse. And the good thing with that job is that we had really busy days, but we also had some really slow days. So I'd go in, manage a couple of calls, and at that same time, I could get content done at work. Now, at first, I would bring in my Xbox to work, and my boss would be like, "What's this for?" And I'm like, "Hey, we're just waiting for calls. I already got all my stuff done. It's the first, you know, half of the day. Within my 4 hours, got everything done." He's like, "Okay, you're good. If anything pops up, I'll let you know." And so eventually got to the point where I built my own mini PC. It's back there. You can't see it, but I built it for work specifically so I could have all my stuff in the cloud. I could edit at work. I could play certain games at work while I recorded. So that was really nice. And almost 2 years ago, I was let go from my job, and I've been doing content full-time, or at least attempting to. Basically, a year before I was fired, we got bought out by another company that wanted a client of ours. Since they didn't want to work with them directly, they thought, hey, we could buy them and we can, you know, pseudo work with this client. And basically stuff went a little downhill from there. You gotta remember, a lot of this timeline happened right when COVID started all the way up until it tapered off. So we went from like hiring a bunch of people, doing work from home, you know, teaching these, you know, people how to use Zoom and, you know, WebEx and stuff like that, to then, you know, using less part-time staff, getting rid of, you know, temp workers. And then eventually they were like, oh, do we really need supervisors to supervise? And so I was one of the people who was let go, even though I was the person who pretty much came up with this like whole training manual so their workers could understand our system. And in any event, at the end of the day, they were just like, we don't think you're a team player, even though you do 3 jobs. And to be honest, I was completely okay with it. It's not that I like didn't like my position at the time. Obviously, I think everyone has a little peace of mind when they have a full-time job. But at the time, I was like, you know, content was on the rise a little bit, and I figured I could really take this time to dive into it. I have a decent amount of money saved up. Let's do this thing. And so obviously a lot of my content has changed over the years. We started with Destiny, Destiny 2, We started doing the anime content. We started branching out to other games. I have like my achievement hunting channel I'm still working on. I need to be more consistent about posting the anime content on my anime YouTube channel. And obviously the main channel here going from, you know, Destiny 2 to, you know, a little bit of variety, like the live service games, especially the gacha scene. I don't know why I started doing it. I like the games. I didn't really play them on stream. I could save like a whole why I got into gacha games for a whole other video, but I've had so many opportunities within that community. So that brings us to now. What is the future of It's Dave TV gonna look like? Most of the stuff here on the main channel is gonna remain the same. I still want to cover Destiny 2 stuff. I'm really having fun on Warframe, especially 1999 with all that new content, and especially with gacha games getting major updates pretty much every month and a half, and there's always new stuff to cover with that. I love covering builds and gameplay and all this stuff, as many of you guys know. And, you know, outside of this channel and just gaming in general, I want to play a variety of games. As much as I enjoy Destiny 2 and my gacha games at the moment, I enjoy playing a variety of games. Like when Lies of P came out, I did my first playthrough and then I decided to 100% it, and I need to redo that entire series for the second channel. And same thing with just story-driven games, indie games, even just multiplayer games, stuff like Lockdown Protocol. You know, when Lethal Company had its high as well. Whenever those type of games come out, those are going to be really fun to play on stream and with friends, obviously. All I'm saying is just be ready for every type of piece of content to come out, because I enjoy making a lot of things. I could easily hyper focus on Destiny 2 like I did for the longest time, and I just felt so burnt out, and it's so refreshing when I can go in and just play a game that's nothing like Destiny 2 and have a really good time and you guys enjoy it. That's obviously one of the big factors here, is that I want people to enjoy, you know, maybe not all my content, but at least if, you know, mess with me, you're like, okay, Dave's playing this game. How the heck is this going to play out? I need to do pretty much like every Dark Souls, pretty much every From Software game. And obviously, you know, Elden Ring, Night Rain's going to come out with just specifically, you know, its multiplayer version of the game from what I understand. So that could be an entire series in and of itself. But I think things about it. That's all I got. I'll quit yapping. Like I said, I just want to come on here and say I appreciate the support in 2024, and I'm looking forward to 2025, and I hope everyone has a fantastic new year. All right, shameless plug time here. Be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell next to notifications if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on any content that I drop here on the channel. If you want to tune in the live streams, we do them here on YouTube and then also on Twitch. That link will be in the description. And if you want to join my community, the Discord will be in the description as well. And again, if you want to look into supporting the channel even more, we do have memberships. You want to check that out, press the join button next to subscribe, and that'll give you a rundown with all the details you're going to need. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been your boy. We'll catch you in 2025. Cheers.